that's basically my whole life is intensity. Yeah. And how I impact other people. It's just like, I feel like I'm a bit like a punch in the face. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like for better or for worse, I'm just a bit like, bam. And then, I don't know, and then I leave. And then hopefully it's good. Sorry, I don't mean like, yeah, obviously punching people in the face is bad, but like, I'm just saying, do you know what I mean? Oh God. Intense, okay. Then I have Pluto, which is like Scorpio's main planet. It's so complicated, but it's, can't remember what it's called, but different signs have like planets that are like their favorites, or the ones that are like their domicile. It's like their planet they're comfortable with. So my Pluto is in my Scorpio ascendant, which means it intensifies my intensity. Okay. And then what else? Oh yeah. And then I have like a stellium at the top of my chart, which is like, so stellium means when you have lots of planets in one sign. So mine's in Leo, which means that like, well, when other planets, like day to day, the planets move, right? So when something kind of hits one of them, it hits quite a lot of them at once, which is another reason why when my life goes to shit, oh boy, does it go to shit. So like it helps you to know that, to be like, oh yeah, I can see that this is a bit of a difficult period, hitting all these planets, hitting all these parts of my personality. So different planets are attached to different parts of you. So for example, and it's accurate. That's the point. It's like, yeah, I would not believe this normally. It sounds like nonsense, it sounds mad. But then when you get into it, you're just like, oh, okay, that is spot on. So yeah, so my Mercury, which is like your communication style, again, mine's in Leo. Venus, what you appreciate, what you love, Leo. Moon, Leo. Chiron, how you deal with trauma, is in Leo. Guess what that means? It means that I'd be on TikTok doing poetry about my trauma, which if you can look at my timeline, that's what I do. And then obviously I got a book which is very public about my trauma and stuff like that. Not just trauma, obviously, but yeah. And it's just weird because I just have this impulse to like perform and like be on camera and be on stage, and even when I don't even want to be, like sometimes people just push me on stage, or like, and I end up being like the center, or the performer, or the center of attention, which is really Leo. Like, you know, it's more nuanced really, but anyway. So a lot of people are like, oh, but I don't like astrology because my main sign doesn't really match up with me. So that's probably because it's definitely because you have a larger chart, which lots of other things are happening in it. So I was like, oh, I'm not really into Virgo stuff, like Virgos are organized and blah, blah, blah. It's a bit, again, more nuanced, but when I learned about it, I was like, well, when I learned about the sign Virgo, for real, I was like, oh, yeah, that does make sense. But lots of other signs dominate my chart, so that's probably why I don't feel that identified with Virgo, even though I definitely am. When I fully learn about signs as well, you start to realize how relevant they are for you. If you know, like, if it's like pop culture quiz questions about what you think Capricorn means and stuff like that, that's different to really indulging into the signs and what they mean and all of the elements on the chart, because there's so many elements. So these are only like some small elements. There's many more elements that can give you much more further reading into it. So that's why people get professional astrologers, which cost like about £100 plus an hour,